Hello everyone, back into today's second video. So we're going to have a look at the weather next week, 10 days for today's second video. This will take us just about to the start of June. So just about the beginning of the summer of 2018 with this update. Earlier on today, we had our first month-ahead look ahead with the ECMWF 30-day ensemble. So I'm hoping to be able to bring you that at least once a week. It updates twice a week on a Tuesday and a Thursday. I said I'd do it twice a week, but actually, think about it, it may sort of clash with JMA Friday a little bit, and we might find out that we're repeating ourselves a bit if we do it both on Tuesday and on Friday. So I might just show you that on a Tuesday. It may be a regular weekly feature at Gasovids every Tuesday. We'll see how we get on with it anyway. I hope that you find this new feature enjoyable. Do let me know via the comments, and also give us a thumbs up if you are enjoying the ECMWF 30-day ensemble forecast. So that was earlier on today. Now we've got the a look at the next week to 10 days, your regular week to 10 day weather forecast update. Shortly, later on this afternoon, we'll have a look at those festivals. That'll probably be the last time we do that, coming up over Bank Holiday weekend. So one last look at those festivals for you, although there will be a couple more Bank Holiday updates coming up over the next few days. And this evening, rounding it all off, will be Terry Scully's summer forecast. That'll be with you around 7 o'clock this evening. But let's get on with your week to 10 day update now, and we're going to begin by having a look at the GFS temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next 2 weeks. Looking at Preston in the north of England today, the red line here is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Preston, and you can see that we are already substantially above average, and we're going to stay that way right way through to the end of the month. So that's 1st of June, just there, 10 days away, or a little less than 10 days now. And we find that, well, look at that, it's very substantially above average. So that's kind of like hinting at a little bit of a heat wave taking place, certainly in terms of the upper air temperatures as we go through to the end of May and the start of June. It's already been a warm month, of course, but the warmest weather may still be to come, and it isn't impossible that by the Bank Holiday weekend we might be seeing temperature going up to 30 degrees, maybe that's 86 Fahrenheit, sometime around the Bank Holiday weekend, but it could be accompanied by thunder as well. After that, through the first week of June, that's this period just here, looks like the upper air temperatures are holding up, but maybe just easing back ever so slightly, although that's right in the extended range of the model and the ensemble, so I don't think that's particularly reliable at all. Essentially, it's going to be very warm to possibly at times even hot as we go through to the end of May, and possibly lasting into the first days of June as well. As far as precipitation is concerned, not too much coming up over the next couple of days, but from the end of the week through to Bank Holiday weekend, when we're getting the warmest weather actually, so when we've got the warmest temperatures, we've also got more precipitation spikes going through. A lot of that could be thundery showers or thunderstorms potentially moving up from the south from the end of the week and over the Bank Holiday weekend. It isn't a desperately wet ensemble at all, because this is showery stuff in nature, so hit and miss. But of course, it's one of those situations, it may well be by the weekend, one of those situations where a lot of places stay completely dry and the ground dries out as the temperature rises. Other places might have flash flooding. So it's that sort of situation where hit and miss thundery showers and thunderstorms become increasingly likely as those temperatures continue to rise. These are the surface temperature ensembles for Preston. So we've got 20 degrees just here. We've got 10 degrees just there. 30 degrees is up there. You can see there is an upwards trend in the temperature ensemble over the next few days, reaching a peak over the weekend and into next week, before maybe later on just beginning to ease back a little bit. Now, those surface temperatures possibly don't go as high as you might have expected, given how high the upper air temperatures are going. But I think these ensemble charts do underestimate surface temperatures a little bit. So essentially, these temperatures are suggesting maximum sort of into kind of like below to possibly mid-20s Celsius over Bank Holiday weekend into next week. You probably increase that a bit by adding on 2 or 3 degrees. So actually, in effect, the maximum temperatures in Preston will be up to there. So going sort of mid-20s Celsius to possibly borderline upper 20s Celsius. But bear in mind, that is for northern England. So down in the south and the southeast, somewhere like London, you can add on a couple more degrees to that. And so by doing all those add-ons, you actually finish up to the south, anyway, places like London, possibly getting quite close to 30 degrees at some point over the Bank Holiday weekend and into next week. It is a warm spell that's coming up, most definitely. Temperature anomalies from the 21st to 29th of May are looking like that, substantially warmer than average through most parts of Europe. The warmest anomalies to average are across Scandinavia, where we're 8 to 10 degrees above average, but the UK and Ireland is still coming out with temperature anomalies around 4 to 6 degrees above average. Precipitation anomalies look like that. Most parts of Northern Europe are coming out drier than average, particularly Scandinavia. Notice that for the southeast and south of England, we're actually coming out a little bit above average with precipitation. That is entirely, I would have thought, down to heavy showers and thunderstorms. So this is how the GFS is looking for Friday, when we continue to have high pressure from Scandinavia stretched out to the northwest of the country, bringing in this easterly wind. There is slackness and kinks within the isobars on this easterly wind, telling us it's a fairly warm but unstable air mass that might be producing heavy showers or thunderstorms down in the south. This continues into Saturday. Then on Sunday, it looks like we push this ridge down a little bit further. So most places become dry, I would have thought, by Sunday. Although down in the southwest, around the Channel, we've probably got some sort of feature around there. So maybe some thunderstorms across the Channel and the southwest, and probably into Ireland too on Sunday. But most places actually dry and very warm. We're sucking up the air from the southeast of Europe with those east to southeast winds, so it will be very warm by Sunday. Bank Holiday Monday looks like that. We're starting to get an area of low pressure going around the Bay of Biscay and southern parts of France. That looks potentially very thundery, and it is trying to push northwards as well, so possibly thunderstorms moving north out of France as we get through to Bank Holiday Monday. There's the upper air temperatures. They're looking pretty hot, especially so for the southeastern part of the country. That thundery low gets closer to us from Monday to Tuesday, so by Tuesday the thundery low is off the coast of France, just heading in towards the Channel and the southwest of England. Doesn't really break things down though, and actually that thundery low is then pushed away from us as high pressure begins to re-establish once more. So now we're going up to the end of May. This is the final day of May, with the high pressure coming back. It's a bit cooler because the air is coming around this high pressure from more of a north-northeasterly direction, but essentially the anticyclone comes back. So not a widespread thundery breakdown actually around Bank Holiday Monday, just storms in the south and southwest probably. That's how we look by day 10, and look at that, high pressure is back in again. Suffice to say, if this pattern was to continue throughout the summer, this would be a very hot summer. It would be one of those really hot and dry summers, but of course you can't guarantee that the weather that you get in May is still going to be the weather that you're getting in August, because very often you do get spells of warm and dry weather through this time of year. The westerlies are always up their weakest in May. And then through the summer, you tend to get a return of the westerlies. And sometimes that could just be a weak return of westerlies, and high pressure will continue to run through the summer. That is when we get our most classic summers, of course, like 1995, 1976, 1959, that kind of summer. By the way, the Bank Holiday Monday historic video, we'll have a look at the summer of 1959. So the best summers are always the ones that have this kind of pattern that we've got here for this May, but extending out through the summer. But very often what does happen is that after you get this spell of warm early summer weather, you get a return to westerlies and you turn things much more unsettled. We can't say which way this is going to go at this point. But anyway, by day 10, by Friday the 1st of June. High pressure is back in across the country once again, extending out a little bit beyond day 10 through the first week of June. We find the high pressure pulling out just to our west a little bit, allowing not particularly unsettled, but certainly cooler and maybe at times a little bit more showery sort of northwesterly winds to return. But we'll wait and see about that. That's a very long way off. This is the ECMWF for Friday. It all looks rather slack again in the south, so it's probably some sort of thundery feature across the south towards the end of the week into the weekend. Again, high pressure is exerting its influence from the northwest. Do still have this thundery low to our south, but it's generally by Sunday restricting most of the showers to southwest England and the Channel area. Into the early part of next week, this is Bank Holiday Monday, and then this is Tuesday with this thundery low close to the south. So again, this would be threatening heavy showers, possibly thunderstorms for southern parts of the country early next week. Northern areas continue to get the driest of the weather. And then we go up towards day 10, and that's how we look by day 10, Friday the 1st of June, with high pressure still more or less in control of this, albeit the south and southeast, it's still rather slack, so still the chance of a few thundery showers perhaps there, but essentially high pressure both to the northeast and also to the west, still in control. And again, this is the kind of pattern that will produce our best summer weather. The best summers, the classic summers, the hot summers, always the ones that have the high pressure over Scandinavia and also the high pressure in the Atlantic from the Azores, and you ridge them together and you form continuous sort of stable ridges from the Azores to Scandinavia. This pattern very rarely does run on all the way through the summer. It's what brought us the heat wave and the drought of 1976, but it is very, very rare to be able to sustain this kind of pattern throughout an entire summer. Usually at some point through the summer it breaks when it starts this early. Finally, having a look at the Canadian model. So again, this thing's looking on Friday, some thundery showers, certainly threatening the south, mainly dry up in the north. Into the weekend, more of an influence from that high pressure. So by Sunday, virtually all places are being dominated by high pressure. Very warm east to southeasterly winds coming in across the country as well. And then through to next week, gradually turning thundery in the south with this area of low pressure around France, threatening some heavy torrential thunderstorms, I would have thought, to southern parts of the country, mainly dry in the north. And then we get to day 10, and again same idea, but after that thundery interlude early next week, the high pressure is back in again. By the end of next week, Friday the 1st of June, we're back to mainly dry and very warm weather once again. So at the moment, there's no sign of a particular breakdown to this spell of very warm conditions. We will have a growing threat of heavy showers and thunderstorms over the next few days, and particularly later on in the bank holiday weekend. I think bank holiday Monday particularly could be quite thundery down across the south, but it's not a complete breakdown. So once that thundery stuff at the beginning of next week gets out of the way, actually we could well be back to high pressure again later next week, with a return to mostly dry and very warm conditions continuing through to the start of June. Right, don't forget to check out that 30-day forecast from the ECWF. It's a new feature for Gasworthy, so let me know what you think via the comments, and also give us a thumbs up if you enjoy it. And in a couple of hours, we'll have a final look at the bank holiday weekend in terms of those festivals that we was talking about last week. Don't forget, Terry Scott's summer forecast will be with you this evening. That's all for now, and thanks for watching.